Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Agata Langer, and I am a relationship coach. I help people heal relationships that they have with their partners, maybe their parents, their children, by healing the relationship that they have with themselves. And today, what I really want to chat about is the feeling of guilt that we have or we get when we take care of ourselves, of our needs, when we decide to spend time or maybe spend money or put effort into something that brings us joy and happiness. And there is a couple of reasons why this thing might be happening, and mostly it's rooted in the conditioning that we have received from our parents. So it's kind of the same behavior pattern that your mom or dad has been exhibiting, and you kind of took it on as your own, and now you're just carrying it on in your life. A lot of times also in our childhood, and again, it didn't happen on a conscious level. It's not like any parent would do that consciously, but subconsciously there were those programs running where you as a child had to prove yourself to be good enough to receive something, or you had to be good for, like, let's say for Santa to come, right? Or you had to be good, you had to get good grades in order even not to get punished. So maybe there was no reward for getting good grades, but you were avoiding the punishment, which was already good enough. And then a lot of times what happens is that when we behave like that, meaning when we just make sure that we're good enough and we behave good enough to please others, to avoid punishment, to feel like we're worthy in childhood, then we forget about our own needs. We don't voice our needs. We don't voice our emotions. We kind of just look and see what we need to do in order to make other people happy, right? And that kind of behavior, again, it stems from childhood and childhood programming conditioning. However, it continues with us when we get married or when we have children. And unfortunately, believe it or not, if you do have children, those children, if you don't fix it, if you don't alter it a little bit, the way that you're designed or programmed, your children will receive that programming as well, as much as you don't want to. And as much as you want to teach your kids by saying, it's good to take care of yourself and your own needs, it's good to voice your opinion. If you don't show it yourself, they will not get those energetic keys. They will still get the programming that you have. So let's take a look a little bit closer. I'll just tell you a little bit about my own experience. When I got married, again, I brought in all my programming or my quote-unquote baggage into my marriage. And a part of that baggage was that I needed to be sacrificing myself for my family. That all I had to do was just to give to my family and my household and my partner, my husband, right? And then that would make me a valuable person, a valuable member of the family, a good mother, a good wife. Well, that's all I knew. That's all I knew. So I submerged myself in that giving mode. It was just give, and give. And I didn't know what it meant to live for myself, what it meant to maybe have my own hobby or my own circle of friends and go out once in a while with them. For a long time, I did not. And what I also noticed at that time, that subconsciously, I was waiting for a reward. And that reward could be like a nice word or a compliment from my husband saying, "Oh my gosh, you work so hard, you take care of the kids and the house." And guess what? It never came. It never happened. And but what did start happening was I started getting resentful because I wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting it from my husband. He wasn't, not that he didn't appreciate me, because I'm pretty sure he did, but he just didn't give me that acknowledgement. And this is exactly how it was designed, how it was meant to be, because I needed to get to that conclusion that if I don't do it for myself, if I don't take care of my own needs, it's not like there's going to be that knight in shiny armor on a white horse that will come and be like, here you go, Agata, you work so hard, you deserve this, you deserve vacation, you deserve a nice night out, I will cook dinner for you today. Okay, it just does not happen. So that was my wake-up call. And I slowly started. Actually, there was another situation that happened I want to share with you that was a huge wake-up call for me. I think I was just pregnant with my third boy. And as you know, if you're a woman and have been pregnant before, that pregnancy takes a lot of energy out of you. It just like sucks the life out of you because you are literally feeding another child. You're growing another human being inside of you. And at that time, I was running my business and taking care of the other two boys. And I just got tired in the middle of the day. And I just decided to lay on the couch. And my boys came to me and they were looking at me and they were like, Mom, are you okay? Mom, why are you laying on the couch? What happened, Mom? And I said, well, I'm just resting. And they're like, what do you mean you're resting? And I was like, oh my gosh, my kids never actually see me rest. They see me work and go and cook and clean and do laundry, which I had energy for all that at that time, right? So I thought I did. And they never actually see me rest. So that was a huge wake-up call. And then I decided to a little bit start, making small steps toward actually seeing what I wanted, what I needed. And one of those things that I needed was interaction with adults, with other human beings, adults, beyond my family, beyond my kids. So I found a mom's group and I started, we had like weekly meetings and we would go out for dinner. And I remember the first time I went out, and it was dinner time, right? So I think I prepped dinner for the kids so that they could have it ready. And I wouldn't be there for dinner time. And again, I was just about to leave the house. And my boys came to me and they were like, Mom, where are you going? I said, I'm just going out to have a dinner with my friends. And they're like, what do you mean you're not going to be here for dinner? And I said, no, you guys going to enjoy dinner without me. And they were just so confused. Because, again, I was always there for them. Which got me to the point that I got exhausted. I was miserable. I was unpredictable. I was yelling at my kids a lot without a warning. Whatever triggered me, like it was usually their mess in their room that triggered me. You might resonate with that one, that sometimes you trip over something and you're like, oh my God, this has to be cleaned up. Why is everything so messy? If I don't do anything in this house, then nobody will. And it just would be like, whew, and the kids in such situations, they feel very unsafe. And then again, if that happens, they get into the same habit of watching and walking on eggshells around, well, me that was at that point, but around a parent, just to make sure that they don't do anything to trigger me into that mode of explosive emotions, yelling and punishing them without a reason. Well, I thought I had a reason, the mess, but it really wasn't. It was just triggering everything that was inside of me. So I'm going to tell you, once I started taking care of my own needs, it wasn't easy for me. It wasn't. I had to heal because I felt a lot of guilt leaving the kids alone and taking time for myself. I actually also felt selfish doing that. And again, the emotion was real to me, but it was a part of the programming that I received. And I needed to heal from that in order to see that I have value, that I can invest time and money in myself, and I can put effort into my well-being and into my happiness. And then what I thought was selfish was actually not, because guess what? Not doing that is selfish. And you're like, what do you mean not taking care of you is selfish? I am spending that time giving to everybody else and you're going to tell me that it's selfish? Yeah, it is. You know why? Because by exhausting yourself and by being in that give mode, you deplete all the resources that you have within you, and then you have nothing good to give to your family. All that you can give them is the resentment, the anger, the frustration. Like they just get the worst of you, so to say. So is that what you want to give to your family? Whereas if you spend time to yourself, you refill your own cup, right? Or your own jug, so that you can pour from the jug to the cups of everybody else, then it's a win-win. Everybody wins. And I'm not saying here because you might be saying, well, so what, I'm suddenly the priority? No, you're also the priority. Everybody else can be a priority in your life, but you take yourself from that back burner and put yourself in that first row with everybody else. So it's not like me first. No, it's me too. It's the idea of me too. I also deserve that. And those feelings of guilt, yeah, they will come up. You'll feel like you're selfish. Is it worth it? Yes. I'll tell you something. A couple of my clients sent their teenage kids to me because they were experiencing signs of depression. They were just, young people just entering the adulthood, and they were just so depressed and so stuck in life, and just like really lacked that zest for like that life that they should have entering their adult life, right? They should, and they didn't. And when I chatted with them and we were talking about the situation in the family, that the dynamics in the family, then they were saying, yeah, my mom is just so unhappy and I just feel responsible for it. And so what happens is that children take on the responsibility of your unhappiness. They will try to fix anything because this is just their nature. Okay, subconsciously, this is a process that happens subconsciously. They'll take on all that energy, all that burden on themselves, and they will try to filter it through them and heal you. And this is not their job. And honestly, you probably know that you wouldn't want your child to do it for you, because that will just burden them and put that burden on them, and they will take on all those emotions of being depressed, of being exhausted, and this is not their job to do, right? And when I was talking to those teenagers, and I remember saying, wouldn't your mom just to be happy? And I remember this smile on this girl's face, and she was like, yeah, if she could just be happy, then I could be finally happy too. And I just remember it was just such a beautiful moment when she just cheered up, and she was just, all I want is for my mom to be happy. And I will ask you, like, if you were to go back to your childhood, and if you remember one of your parents, maybe even both, being constantly worried about something, or constantly working and not seeing any joys in life, or maybe being frustrated, angry, aggravated, what would your wish be? Because I remember those times, and my wish would be just, no, sit down, relax, it's all going to be okay. Can we just have some fun together? Can we play a game together? Can you just show me how to be happy? Because for a child, telling them is not enough. You really need to show them. The energy is something that we don't necessarily see, but there is such a thing called energy co-regulation. So whatever level of energy you carry inside of you, the rest of the household is going to co-regulate with you. So again, coming back to that idea of taking care of yourself, being selfish, well, if you raise your energy and your vibration up, and you're truly unconditionally happy. I'm not saying like most of the time, people have ups and downs, right? But if that 80-90% of your time is really that joy and happiness in life, then you will help your family to raise up to that vibration too. They will get those energetic keys from you. They will learn without you teaching them, but just by being, they will simply learn the same, how to be happy. So think now for a second about the ripple effect that you're creating. again, coming back to the idea, is this really selfish when you take care of your own happiness, when you invest in yourself? And it could be a mentor, it could be a coach, it could be a counselor, it could be a program you sign up for, it could be a night out with your friends. Why not? Whatever it is that you need. If you carry some deeper wounds inside of you, you will probably need a person who knows what they're doing, who specializes in that field, so that they can heal that, because just talking about it, I'll let you know, just talking about it is not going to help. Okay? But so again, coming back to the idea, is this selfish? Because look at the ripple effect. If you're happy, happy mama, happy children, happy wife, happy husband, happy me, happy family. It really works like that. And all it takes is just directing the attention on yourself and starting to heal and starting to find that joy and that happiness is not something that's just reserved for lucky people. I promise you. And the reason why you feel so bad and depressed when you're not happy is just because it's not your natural state of being. It's not. People are meant to be happy. Life is not supposed to be a struggle. There are ways to heal that, to cure that, and actually shift into that higher consciousness of being, the perspective on life. Make shifts in your mind and in your energetic fields. There are just ways to do that. I can promise you, because I walked myself through it. Granted, it took me 8 years, and that's why I teach this now, so people can get the same effects in literally a few months, because I just give them all the keys to it, all the methods that I gathered during those and tested during those 8 years. It was like a self-search, self-discovery, and all that essence that I gathered, I'm giving it to you now, and I promise you that you can get there much faster than I did. But coming back to the ripple effect, you think that it ends on your immediate family? Well, no, it doesn't. Because then suddenly you have a better relationship also with your parents, with your coworkers. You have a better relationship with your friends. And there are so many women who go through my program and my coaching, and they come back to me and they're like, people are just constantly asking me what it is that I do, because I just seem so lighter and calmer and more open. And they are like, whatever it is that you're doing, I want that too. I want the same medicine that you're taking. And absolutely, this is how it works. And I'm telling you that when you open up and you heal, the whole world, your surroundings and people are going to reflect that. Better job, absolutely. The women, again, that I walk through my program, they have now confidence to actually, whether it's starting their business, their new business that they've always knew that they wanted, or applying for that job that they feel fulfilled in. So this goes even beyond the relationships. But even the relationships with the coworkers and their bosses, when they feel like they finally equal and not just like somebody they're just doing like a lower kind of job, they actually feel equal with everybody else. It's just a beautiful thing to do. Does it end there? No, it doesn't. Because literally when you raise your vibration, when you heal on the inside and you start radiating that beautiful light that is inside of you, everybody you meet on your path is going to receive some of this light. Everybody, even the person that you meet or you cross paths doing grocery shopping, even that. What also happens, and there's just something that I have to tell you, what will also happen is that when you're in a state of just really being balanced and knowing what to do with your energy, knowing how to deal with your emotions, you go out there and you're more receptive to what's happening in the world. Instead of being just closed off and being in pain, in that painful, okay, this is my emotions, I have to deal with it. My situation with my husband is just dire. What am I going to do? This is kind of like a closed off, being in a box. And when you do heal, you open yourself up and you're more receptive to what's happening around you. And I'll give you an example of what happened to me once. And again, it connects with that ripple effect that I'm talking about. I was doing some grocery shopping. I was online, and I remember that was Aldi. I think I was getting probably some gluten-free foods for my boys. And there was a woman in front of me. I could tell she was a grandmother, and she had two grandchildren with her. And you know, as children are, especially doing grocery shopping, God bless this woman's heart, right? They were just getting impatient, and probably one of them was crying. And prior to that trip to Aldi, I actually had made a trip to a health food store, and I don't know why, but when I was checking out, I saw these oatmeal cookies, they handmade in store, wrapped in Saran wrap, oatmeal cookies that I normally don't get, and I was like, I don't know why, but I need to get those. And I think I got 2 of them at that time. I just followed my intuitive nudge. I had no clue why I was even getting it. It wasn't a craving or anything, right? And when I was standing in line behind this woman, behind this grandmother, I knew I had those cookies in my purse, and I knew that those boys would probably really love to have a cookie. So after she checked out and I did, I came up to her and I talked to the boys and I said, hey, or I think I asked her if they could actually have one. And I gave them the cookie, and one of them took it, and the other one, the one that was grumpy, he was like, no, I don't want to have the cookie. So I gave it to his brother, and I said, well, when your brother is ready, you can give it to him, right? And I just, and I think she said thank you, and I just walked off to my car. I was putting my groceries in my car. Oh my gosh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, because it was just such a beautiful moment. And this woman came up to me and she said, oh my gosh, you must be like one of those angels that walk on earth, because I really appreciate what you did, just giving them those cookies, calmed them down, and it calmed her down, and she was just able to get through her day. Like, it just pumped her up. She was just able to get through her own emotional state. And, you know, taking care of 2 little boys, not easy. And as grandmothers, we try to do 120% of the job that a mom would do, and nothing against moms, right? But grandmothers, they just care so much less to keep their grandchildren safe and happy. So, and again, had I been in my pain, submerged in kind of in my pain and my emotional painful state of things, of being just closed off and not open to the world, I wouldn't even notice. I wouldn't even probably follow that nudge to get those cookies. I wouldn't have noticed this woman that really needed a little bit of pick me up, and those cookies were just enough what was happening, right? So we really do truly, by taking care of our own emotional state and our own healing, we make a huge ripple effect that is really uplifting the level of the frequency of the entire earth, because it starts with us, but then it just really ripples. It really ripples. What you do for yourself, you do for your children, and then they will be able to get those keys and those not even methods, but just those tools that you give them, the communication tools, maybe the tools how to deal with emotions, how to respond, how to react to certain situations. They will take that and they will be able to apply that when they are adults in their life, in their either jobs or families, and they will give it to their children. So it's work that you're doing for generations. And it is something that you do for a lifetime. It's not just like a temporary thing, because once you come up to that higher vibration, you don't normally slide down. You don't. You just want to go up higher and higher, because it's kind of contagious. You just want to. Like, you get a glimpse of that, oh my gosh, I could actually be happy. I actually have a say what's going on in my reality. I can actually create my reality with my thoughts and emotions. Yay, let's do it. So once you get a glimpse of that and a taste of that, you just want to keep going. You just want more and more and more. And that is exactly how you create that ripple effect. And it really affects so much more than just your family. So when you think that taking care of yourself, your own needs, your own healing, and taking time and effort and investing even money, right, for yourself is selfish, then I would ask you this: what if the opposite is true? What if not doing that is actually selfish? And how much is it worth for you to invest in yourself so you can invest also in your family? It's an investment in your relationship with your partner, with your husband, with for your kids especially, like especially moms. We want to do anything for our kids. And I'll just tell you one more note here, just finishing up because it came to my mind right now. As far as taking care of our kids, right? We as moms, like I said, we would do anything. And I've recently created a program for kids, a local one here, that I was meeting with some children who needed that help on how to process their emotions, how to deal with anger a lot of times, right? How to deal with bullying at school. And I was meeting with them, and the parents were just so happy to bring them in and being like, well, help my kids, help my kids. And what I say to that is, yes, I'll help your kids, but you also need to help yourself first. Because if I help them here and they come back to the same environment, to the same family dynamics, right, that are maybe a little bit off balanced, then they will just still be getting most of what they're getting before. So you want to help your kids, help yourself, find your own happiness, and then you can show your kids exactly how to do that by not even saying a word, just by being that. They'll just get from you just because you are happy, just because you are fulfilled, just because you do have a good relationship with their father or your partner, or sometimes it could be both, right? In cases. And you just show them. You just show them how to do that. You don't have to teach them anything. I promise you, they will just get it. They'll just get it, and it will be the investment that you make for their future. Thank you so much for listening. I welcome all questions and I welcome all comments. And until next time, bye.